gathered here today to condemn the United States Immigration Customs Enforcement's murder of rapid responder Renee Nicole Good. Can you hear? I can't hear. Good morning. We're gathered here today to condemn the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement's murder of Renee Nicole Good, a rapid responder in Minnesota, and to stand in solidarity with Minnesota and rapid response networks across the country. First, we would like to take a moment of silence to honor the life of Renee Good and her courage and bravery to protect her community and standing up for human rights. My name is Miming Wing, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Rapid Response Network in Santa Clara County, a county-wide network comprised of 10 nonprofit organizations and thousands of trained volunteers who dedicate their time to protect and empower our communities, especially our immigrant neighbors, and with direct emergency services. We are here today to condemn the horrific and escalating violence unfolding in Minneapolis, but not only in Minnesota, but across the country at the hand of ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. We are here to name what is happening plainly and without hesitation. DHS deployed over 2,000 untrained ICE agents in Minneapolis to terrorize the Somali community, and this resulted in the murder of Renee Good. The federal occupation of a state under the guise of immigration enforcement is not public safety. It is state violence. What we are witnessing in Minnesota should outrage every person in this country, regardless of your political affiliation, geography, or immigration status. Masked armed federal agents flooding neighborhoods, operating with impunity, violently suppressing community presence, and silencing witnesses is unacceptable. It is deplorable. It is an assault on human dignity, community safety, and basic democratic principles. The level of force used is not an accident. It is a deliberate escalation by ICE and DHS, one that relies on intimidation, fear, and violence to carry out enforcements while avoiding accountability. When communities show up to observe, document, and protect one another, the response has been using more force, more agents, and more violence. This sends a chilling message that the federal government is willing to treat entire communities as enemy territory. That message should alarm all of us. History has shown that when this kind of violence is normalized in one place, it does not stay contained. It spreads. The Rapid Response Network in Santa Clara County stands in solidarity with the people of Minnesota, not only in grief, but in outrage, and also in vigilance. We know what happens there has a direct implication for our communities here. The same agencies, the same tactics, and the same lack of accountability are spreading nationwide. Our rapid response networks exist because our communities refuse to be isolated, disappeared, or terrorized in silence. We exist because collective community care and response is an essential tool of protection when government power is abused. This moment demands more than silence. It demands public outrage, it demands accountability, and it demands a community across the country to say clearly and loudly and collectively, this violence is not accepted, tolerated, and will not be ignored. In this moment in history, in the United States, we cannot sit idly and ignore the terror that is sweeping our country. We must come together and take action. Today, you will hear from rapid responders, community advocates, and organizers who will speak to what we are seeing locally, what we are demanding, and how we continue to protect the communities that are facing the escalating state violence. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Yesenia Campos, and I am a legal observer with the Rapid Response Network. Today, I am speaking in grief, in rage, and in responsibility. Renee Nicole Good was shot and killed in Minneapolis. There is video, there are witnesses, There is no confusion about what we saw. Renee was lawfully observing and protecting her community, doing exactly what legal observers, rapid responders, and community advocates across this country are trained and legally entitled to do. She was not interfering. She was not threatening anyone. She was exercising her rights, bearing witness, and holding power accountable. What happened to Renee was not an incident. It was not a use of force. It was murder. I am here to condemn the agencies responsible, ICE and the Department of Homeland Security, for yet another act of state violence carried out with impunity. These agencies have a long and documented history of terrorizing communities, and today that terror took Renee's life. Anyone who is involved in these agencies, who carries out or defends this violence, has abandoned all moral responsibility. They have abandoned good, conscience, religion, and faith. No badge, no uniform, and no federal authority can excuse the taking of a human life. There is nothing righteous, lawful, or godly about killing a woman and then hiding behind policy. This violence is not distant. It is happening here in California. It is happening here in San Jose. It is happening in our neighborhoods, in our streets, and in front of the very people who are lawfully exercising their rights. I am not speaking about this violence from a distance. I was detained by ICE here in San Jose during a legal observation, while officers were loading people into a van. I was doing exactly what Minneapolis protesters were doing, observing, documenting, and exercising my rights. And an ICE agent decided to charge at me with force when I was complying and not a threat to him at all. From that experience, I know what it feels like to have your rights disregarded, to be treated as disposable, and to have power exercised over your body without justification. That experience stays with you, and it is exactly why I am standing here today. I also want to speak as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother. Renee was a mother. Renee was a wife. That means someone woke up today without their partner. That means a child woke up without their mother's voice, her protection, or her love. She was loved, she mattered, and no government agency had the right to steal her from the people who depended on her. I am also calling out Kristi Noem and every elected official who has seen the video and refuses to name it for what it is. Silence in the face of clear violence is not neutrality, it is complicity. This administration came to power on promises of safety, justice, and national strength. But today we must speak honestly. Those promises ring hollow. A nation cannot claim greatness while the rights of its own citizens and of people who are lawful and active members of society are trampled by the very institutions sworn to protect them. There can be no greatness without accountability and no justice without truth. If you can watch a woman lawfully observing, documenting, and defending her community be killed and still hide behind bureaucratic language, then you are choosing power over people. You are choosing institutions over human life. As legal observers and rapid responders, we are often the first to witness this violence, to document it, and to stand between our communities and unchecked forces. We are tired of seeing the same pattern repeat: a killing, a press conference, an investigation that goes nowhere, and families left to grieve without justice. Renee Nicole Good deserved to live. She deserved protection, not execution. And she deserved leaders brave enough to speak the truth. We are demanding accountability. We are demanding justice. And we will not allow Renee's name or the truth of how she was killed to be buried under lies, delay, or silence. Say her name tell the truth, and end this violence now.
Thank you, Yesenia. My name is Stephanie Jane, and I am also a volunteer legal observer, also known as a rapid responder with the Rapid Response Network here in Santa Clara County. I have been a responder since 2017. At that time, ICE was often in our neighborhoods extremely early in the morning, as our hardworking immigrant neighbors left for work, before many of us were even awake. Under the cover of early morning darkness, ICE was hoping not to be seen at all, but we were there, recording. It's very different now, but we, as legal observers, are still there and still recording. I became a responder because I believe in dignity, due process, and that no one should face state violence alone. I show up because immigrant families in our county deserve witness, protection, and dignity, especially when masked federal agents carrying guns enter our neighborhoods with the power to detain, disappear people, and harm. Being a responder simply means showing up. It means standing where harm is likely to happen and recording what those in power would prefer remain unseen. Here in Santa Clara County, we have already seen the consequences of ICE's violent and reckless enforcement tactics. We have documented multiple cases in which community members were hospitalized as a result of brutal force used during ICE arrests here in Santa Clara County. This includes agents breaking car windows to drag people out of vehicles, agents kneeling on top and beating individuals who were already handcuffed, and a complete disregard for people's medical needs, denying access to medications during and after detention. This violence has happened here in our county, in our cities, in front of families, children, neighbors, and witnesses. While we mourn the murder of Renee Good, we also mourn the 32 people who have died in ICE custody in 2025. 32 mothers, fathers, wives, husbands, friends. 32 people killed who don't look like me. Let that sink in for a minute. That is one person killed by ICE every 11 days. While deadly force has not yet been used here in Santa Clara County, the warning signs are unmistakable. These tactics, escalation, intimidation, dehumanization, are the same tactics that we are seeing across the country. This is how violence becomes normalized, and unless we stop it now, greater harm will follow. ICE has targeted immigrant community members, and they have also attempted to intimidate and deter citizens and legal observers who are lawfully present. We have seen agents take photographs of observers, issue verbal threats, and in some cases, use physical force, despite the fact that observers are not interfering, not obstructing, and are exercising protected rights. And we have video to prove it. They have recorded me personally many times, photographed my license plate, and pulled me over on a street in East San Jose to tell me that I was interfering with a federal operation and I was simply driving down the street. This intimidation is intentional. It is meant to make us afraid to show up, but we continue to show up anyway. I continue to serve as a responder because our community matters. Showing up matters, taking video matters. When there are witnesses, it becomes harder for violence to hide. When there is community, it becomes harder for fear to win. And together, we must win. Rapid response is about collective care. It's about refusing to accept terror as normal. It is about protecting our neighbors, not with force, but with accountability and solidarity. And this work cannot fall on a few people alone. Let me be very clear, this network exists because thousands of ordinary people choose to act. We need more community members to step forward, to be trained, to observe, to document, and to stand with immigrant families when ICE shows up. You do not need to be fearless to be a responder. I know I'm not. You need to be committed to the belief that what is happening is wrong and that silence only allows it to continue. What we are seeing now in Minnesota and here in Santa Clara County is a warning. The violence is already here, the intimidation is already here, and the question before us is whether we will look away or whether we will show up for one another. I choose to show up, and I am grateful for all of us who show up together, and I'm asking our entire community to do the same.
Say her name! Renee Good! Say her name!
Renee Good!
Say her name!
Renee Good!
Bear with me one moment. Good morning. My name is Jeremy Bruce, and I have the privilege of serving as a steering committee member with the Rapid Response Network in Santa Clara County. We stand in solidarity with Minneapolis and mourn the death of Nicole Renee Good, who was murdered yesterday by the hands of ICE. These are not normal times, and we need courageous leaders to demonstrate their commitment to community, not only in words, but in action through policy and resources. When the federal government attacks the constitutional rights and fundamentals of democracy, we are all under threat, and we also must stand with our most vulnerable neighbors. We call on all local government bodies here in Santa Clara County to stand up, show your values, and invest in immigrant protection. As we all know, the Trump administration has put together a massive machine to deport millions of individuals back to their home countries. Back in July, Congress passed H.R. 1 that invests a record $170 billion in immigration enforcement over the next 4 years. Shame.
Shame.
This deportation machine involves opening new detention facilities around the country and to hire tens of thousands of new ICE agents. ICE is in the midst of an aggressive recruitment campaign at a scale we've never seen before. We've seen the gross abuses of power by ICE and the federal government. The Trump administration has said that some of the most basic constitutional rights of people who live here, regardless of their immigration status, simply do not apply any longer. You can get grabbed by a federal agent on the street and sent wherever they want to send you. When people have access to legal representation, they have a way better chance at a positive outcome. With access to legal help, immigrants are far more likely to win their cases so they can stay with their families and remain as productive members of society. Studies show that with representation, people facing deportation are 10 times more likely to get a positive outcome. So we call on local governments from South County to San Jose, to our West Valley cities, to North County. We must increase funding for immigration services.
Yes.
Yes.
Particularly for the Rapid Response Network hotline, emergency and urgent legal assistance, and community outreach so people know their rights and how to access resources. So in closing, let's meet this moment with the leadership we are known for here in Santa Clara County. Let's invest in the very communities that invest in us every single day. The time to act is now. So let's stand up and invest in immigration services. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Armendariz, a proud rapid responder. I'm here with Working Partnerships USA in Cara, South County. California has been a leader in fighting for our immigrant communities by investing in the local infrastructures and organizations that are protecting us. California has enacted landmark legislation such as the masking ban and has filed numerous lawsuits against the Trump administration for its lawless actions and attempts to invade our cities and commandeer our National Guard. Despite these efforts, we are not immune. Across our state, we have seen ICE and Border Patrol terrorize our communities, targeting responders and tearing families apart. While we stand in solidarity with Minnesota today, we also know that California will remain a target. To expand on our ability to protect our communities, we call on the state of California to expand its commitment to this fight by increasing its ongoing funding for immigration legal services by $50 million. This demand has already been joined by 124 organizations across California, some of whom stand here before you today. These services are some of the best protections that exist to protect immigrant families and communities in their homes and in our broken immigration system. We also call on the state of California to stand ready to hold federal agents who violently assault our communities and our responders accountable. We are seeing Minnesota representatives call out the ugly, violent actions of the federal agents who assaulted and then murdered Renee Good. Our leaders must also call out these violent actions and be ready to prosecute any federal agent who harms our responders and assaults our community members as well. Thank you. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Mariana.
Okay, so this will be our closing, and we wanted to send some messages to our community. The Rapid Response Network in Santa Clara County is here to protect, empower, and serve. And we want to say this plainly: we are unafraid. The tactics of terror, intimidation, and violence we are seeing will not deter our work or weaken our commitment to protecting the rights of all Santa Clara County residents. If you need help because a loved one has been detained by ICE, if you are afraid to attend an ICE appointment alone, or if you see ICE presence in our neighborhoods, call the Rapid Response Network 24/7 hotline at 408-290-1144. You will see the hotline number behind me. En español, si necesita ayuda porque un ser querido ha sido detenido por inmigración, si tiene miedo de asistir solo a una cita de inmigración, o si ve presencia de ICE en nuestros vecindarios, llame a la línea directa de la red de respuesta rápida, disponible 24 horas, 7 días a la semana. El número es 408-290-1144. Our message today is simple. You are not alone. Nuestro mensaje hoy es simple, no están solos. Our team of trained dispatchers, accompaniment volunteers, emergency immigration attorneys, and family support staff are here for you, and we will respond. Tenemos un equipo de personas que contestan las llamadas, de voluntarios como los que están aquí detrás mío, de abogados de inmigración que dan servicio gratis de emergencia y de apoyo para la familia que es impactada por una detención de ICE. No están solos, estamos aquí para apoyarlos, y todos esos recursos están disponibles a través de nuestra línea directa con una llamada. Before we close, we do want to also acknowledge that we have some elected officials here with us today. We have Pamela Campos, San Jose Council member from District 2. Anthony Tordillos from San Jose District 3. We have Celeste Walker for Assemblymember Ash Calra's office. Giselle Corona Torres for Congressmember Sam Licardo's office. Teresa Castellanos, San Jose Unified School District Trustee. Brian Wheatley, San Jose Unified School District Board Vice President. And David No for Supervisor Sylvia Arena's office. So thank you. We will now open the floor for questions from the media.
Or interview request.
And interview requests.
I had a question. She was with Rapid Response.
It is unclear at this time if Renee Good was affiliated with the Rapid Response Network, according to reports coming out of Minneapolis. What we do know is that she was observing legally the actions of ICE in her community.
So if you're an observer, she's actually recording stuff too? On her phone kind of stuff?
Legal observers can do many things, including just taking notes, just being witnesses, recording, or being with community in this space.
So do you think that as her car went off and crashed into another car, that she had recording devices in the car, and there's probably more information on that?
That would be a question for Minneapolis, the team investigating. We do know that she was murdered, and that's when her car crashed into another vehicle, right? Yes.
In the wake of this incident, will there be any changes to how you approach being in the field, or any revisiting of your security procedures to keep the responders safe?
The question is if there will be any changes to our protocols on how we keep responders safe. In the wake of this incident, we know that we have already protocols that are strong, and we are always looking to refine them every single day. The Rapid Response Network in Santa Clara County has a little over 2,000 volunteers. We already had an incident in October where someone was detained by force by immigration. After that, we learned a lot and we developed our protocols, all to say that rapid responders in Santa Clara County are instructed to observe, never to interfere. They're instructed to stick with each other so that we have witnesses always when we are interacting with immigration. We are recording one another, keeping each other in frame if we're responding to an alert, and all the actions that responders do are lawful. Now, if there is ever any instance where immigration, like they did already, attempts to falsely accuse our responders of obstructing or use violence or force against them, our team does have a plan set in place for some legal support for responders, some pro bono support. Our network counts with immigration attorneys. It's the core of our network it's backed by the law, it's backed by legalities, and we do have access to that criminal defense support if needed, but we also know that immigration has accused a lot of people of obstructing and interfering across the country, a lot of observers, and they've dropped most of those cases, or those cases have not been successful. So we know that what we're doing is lawful, and we will continue to do so while keeping each other safe, while being together with partners, and also making sure that we are ensuring that we are never leaving responders out alone when we're out there.
Can you talk about what happened after Rebecca was detained and manhandled by the ICE officer?
Yesenia Campos is our speaker who was detained, and ICE used excessive force against her. What happened after there is I'm going to be very general because just out of what we can say for the sake of her case, there is no case against her. It's plainly simple. ICE did not charge her with obstruction. They released her shortly after putting her in handcuffs and physically forcing themselves on her. There has not been any charges against her. Simply put, there really are no charges they can put against her from the documentation that we have and the actions that took place. And we do have legal counsel that has been advising Yesenia that our team facilitated for her to obtain if it ever becomes an issue for her, but it has not at this point. And then Yesenia is also available for interviews from the press once we're done. If there's any other questions.
What is your name?
My name is Mariana. Mariana Aro, Rapid Response Network.
Could you spell your name, please?
Mariana, Mariana, Haro, Haro. And then lastly, before we close, I think that was all the interviews. We're happy to stick around for interviews. We want to thank Working Partnerships for hosting us, Maria Noel Fernandez, your Executive Director, Rebecca Hernandez, who works for Rapid Response Network as well, and thank you. And Brisa Velasquez for Councilmember Ortiz is here for District 5. I want to acknowledge her as well.
Hey, we're going to try to do a really cool big group picture with everyone that's here. We have a volunteer who's basically going to just kind of run around. So as he's doing that, just have your signs real high, make a lot of noise, okay? Like we're like doing the wave, but not the actual wave, okay? You all ready? All right, ready? All right.